Calaroga Shark Media.
Hello, I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. Did you watch the debate last night? It aired on News Nation, Rumble, and the CW. Seth Meyers joked, so in other words, look for it wherever you get your computer viruses. Switching topics, Brenda Lee has her first #1 hit for Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree, recorded in 1958, I think. Jimmy Fallon said, yeah, Brenda is having a moment. Not only does she have the #1 song, today she was seen holding hands with Travis Kelce. By the way, Taylor Swift named Time's Person of the Year. You can follow all the Taylor Swift news on her sister podcast, Taylor Swift Today. Spotify put out their Spotify Wrapped lists, and Weird Al had some commentary on their royalty system. Here's a statement from Weird Al.
Hey, how you doing? Al here. Look, I'll make this really quick. I just want to thank you all for your amazing support. It's my understanding that I had over 80 million streams on Spotify this year. So if I'm doing the math right, that means I earned $12. So, enough to get myself a nice sandwich at a restaurant. So from the bottom of my heart, thanks for your support, and thanks for the sandwich.
Meanwhile, another statement, Ricky Gervais tweeted what he called an urgent appeal.
Hello, Ricky Gervais here. This is a quick message to all supermarkets, off licenses, corner shops to say, please stock Dutch Barn Vodka. I'm the co-owner of the company, so this could make me a lot of money. And it's a premium quality vodka made from British apples. We're committed to sustainability and the protection of the ecosystem. It's 100% recyclable, the bottle. That's why it's brown. Only one like it as well. So it'll stand out on the shelves. It's how people will remember it, I think. It'll be like, if you're going out, Grandad, can you get me some vodka? What sort? The posh one in the brown bottle. Dutch Barn? I can't afford that. Well, you should have worked harder then. So, Dutch Barn.
I like what Ricky's doing there. He's running right at it, not even pretending. The folks at All Dogs Matter tweeted, we wanted to say a huge thank you to our patron, the one and only Ricky Gervais, who has made an incredibly generous donation to go towards the care of our dogs. We cannot be more grateful. Hearts emoji. Your donation will keep dogs like Colin happy, healthy, and warm this winter. There's a picture of Colin. You can find out about Ricky Gervais' donations by listening to yesterday's podcast. Happy Hanukkah. Adam Sandler recounts how he wrote the Hanukkah song. This from the Jewish Chronicle, your home for comedy news. Sandler recently spoke to the crowd at the 92nd Street Y in New York City and said, I am so proud of that song. I love it. He wrote the song at the NBC studios of SNL. There was no Google in 1994, so he went by what he thought was correct. The lyrics include Harrison Ford's a quarter Jewish. Sandler later found out he was off by 25 percentage points. I remember when I met Harrison Ford, he goes, half. Sandler said, all my family's Jewish. Everybody has a kind of funny way about them. I definitely, after every family get-together, couldn't believe what I saw sometimes. Sandler first got into stand-up comedy at age 17 and said, I would bomb every night. Well, good thing that's changed. His stand-up is hilarious these days. Now, if you're wondering about the other people mentioned in the song, USA Today, under the headline, Adam Sandler's Hanukkah song, are all those celebs in the song actually Jewish? Let's take a look. David Lee Roth, James Caan, Kirk Douglas, Dinah Shore, yes, 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 yes. Bowser from Sha Na Na, and Arthur Fonzarelli. John Bauman is Jewish, Henry Winkler is Jewish, Goldie Hawn, William Shatner, Leonard Nimoy. As the song points out, O.J. Simpson, not a Jew, but Rod Carew, yes, Rod Carew converted. If you're in the mood to hear the Hanukkah song, when we're done here, go to the Live One app and play the weekly comedy thing. That's the show I host over there. I played the Hanukkah song this week for this very reason. Sandler recently told Variety that Roseanne Barr almost performed the song on SNL in '94. Sandler said they were talking about Roseanne singing it, and she was nice enough to say, no, let Adam do that. That's his. He wrote it. That's his song. During Weekend Update, Sandler explained that he wrote the song after noticing the lack of music about Hanukkah. Does Sandler still sing the Hanukkah song? He says, I sing it alone. I sing it without the kids. I go in our basement. I rip it out. I do the soft shoe to it. If it comes on the radio and I hear it, I get excited. It's still awesome. The Canadian Comedy Hall of Fame has announced the newest round of inductees. They include Jim Carrey, Eugene Levy, Martin Short, and the cast of SCTV. So are Eugene and Martin in there twice, or how does that work? I don't know. There will be a 4-day festival in February to mark the beginning of a 3-year collaboration with Tourism Hamilton. Jerry Seinfeld is playing Singapore. Jerry gave some quotage, which was, I saw recently that Singapore has some of the happiest people on earth by scientific study, so I don't imagine my comedy will be able to improve that by too much, but I'm really going to try. So excited for my first visit. I was curious how much tickets cost, and I went to the website that was linked in the article, and you have to register for a pre-sale, and I'm like, I don't know, I'll just look it up next week. All right, after 3 days, there's finally press about Stavros Halkias. Remember his Netflix special came out on Tuesday, and there were no articles about it? Well, Deadline got around to it. He tells Deadline he's noticing a difference in those attending his shows. Instead of internet freaks alone, he says he now sees nice older couples in the crowd. In Fat Rascal on Netflix, Stavros talks about everything from nightmare travel days to experiences at the Big and Tall store. He talked about having a hard time breaking in. He said, I had agents and managers, but you know how it is. Nobody gives an F about you when you're not making them any money. Nobody wanted to buy a special from me. In 2022, he self-released a self-finance special on YouTube, Live at the Lodge Room. That's gotten over 6 million views. He invested $40,000 of his own money. To get word out about the special, Halkias began disseminating online clips of material that didn't make the cut. Additionally, he embraced crowd work clips. For years, he'd been taping every set he did, whether it was at a comedy club, a brewery, or some kind of other low-rent venue. He hired a friend with, quote, no editing experience away from his low-paying media job, and they started mining old sets for clips to post online. Those clips took his YouTube, I don't want to use the word special if it's self-released, hour, half hour, I don't know how long it was, from 20,000 into the hundreds of thousands, which in turn resulted in him moving tickets, quote, like never before. Every single clip was going viral. It was insane. I was like, what the F? We're growing at such an insane rate. I felt like I just found an audience that I had no idea existed, and I was confused more than anything. He attributes his success online to good timing, saying Meta and Google saw that TikTok was eating their lunch, and they were like, well, anybody that does short-form video content, we're boosting the F out of their algorithm. It just so happened that while that was happening and YouTube Shorts was getting boosted and Instagram was getting boosted and TikTok was trying to boost people's stuff so more people would do it, I had like 2 to 3 years of the best crowd work interactions, and I think I just got really lucky. It just worked in a way I could not believe. He says, I don't mean to get corny or anything, but I've achieved my bleeping goals. I have friends who are famous. I don't want their lives. I don't need to be more famous than this. In fact, I don't want to be. The virtual reality stand-up series Surrounded will return for a second season, December 29th. The 6-part series will debut via the Meta Horizon Worlds VR online video game platform. Episodes start on the 29th, including a holiday festival special that drops at 10 a.m. Pacific on that day. These sets were filmed at the 2023 Just for Laughs Montreal Comedy Festival. Hosted by Lil Rel Howery, the episodes feature Jack Whitehall, Marlon Wayans, Mae Martin, Fortune Feimster, Mark Normand, Chris Redd, Dan Soder, Jay Farrow, Meg Statler, Felipe Esparza, Rosebud Baker, Sam Morrell, Joel Kim Booster, Hannah Berner, Nate Jackson, Brad Williams, Preacher Lawson, Sashir Zamata, Brian Simpson, Steph Tolev, Annie Lederman, and Shay Durena. That is no joke, that list. Lil Rel Howery called the show crowd work and freestyling at its best. So this morning at the National Donuts chain, Evil Bill Engvall was back, but the donuts chain people just did not have my order together. I mean, I had ordered online. It took 12 minutes for somebody to make an iced coffee. Come on, donuts chain. But it was good to see Evil Bill back in the house. Last Week Tonight with John Oliver has been renewed for 3 more seasons. Yep, it'll still be on HBO or Max or HBO Max or whatever it is these days. John Oliver said, we're very happy to get to keep making the show with our fantastic staff. We'll continue trying to stretch the term entertainment to the breaking point. A Suit said, over the past decade, John and his exceptional team have combined deep research and intelligence with cutting humor to tackle a broad range of subjects both widely discussed and unconventional. With an important election year on the horizon, we look forward to seeing what John has in store for audiences over the next 3 years. Thanks, Suit. Bassem Youssef recently made some news, having a little back and forth with Piers Morgan. Youssef showed up at COP28, that's the big environmental summit. He said to the audience, let's be honest, the only reason I'm here is because I'm trending. But also because I've been an advocate of plant-based diets. Someone asked, why stand-up comedy and how do you find humor during these dark times? Youssef said, it's simple, because the fact that we still have to meet every year to decide not to hurt our planet is a joke itself. Paste Magazine spoke to Zainab Johnson about her special, Hijab's Off, released on Amazon back in October. This one recorded in the round, one cameraman holding a Steadicam for the special's duration. Johnson said, I think there's something really intimate about recording in the round. I always say my stand-up should feel like I've invited you into my living room. You get to hang out with me for a little while, and hopefully by the end of it, you leave feeling fulfilled and good. You want to come back. Much like Jim Gaffigan, she's not considered the jokester in her family. Johnson says, they love me, but they think I'm the most serious person. I try to plan vacations with my mom, and she's like, you're no fun. I'm always the person trying to keep the family business in order. I'm like, what are the troubles? Let's look for the solutions. What are the bills? What are the things we need to improve? And everybody's like, we're trying to have fun and celebrate. Norman Lear, the renowned American television writer, film producer, and activist, passed away Tuesday at age 101. Born in New Haven, Connecticut, Lear celebrated for creating All in the Family, Mary Hartman, The Jeffersons, Maude, Good Times, Sanford and Son, Fernwood Tonight. Jon Stewart tweeted, "Good night, Norman. Love you. Thanks for raising me." Jimmy Kimmel gave Variety a statement, which was, "It is obviously silly to want more time with a person who outlived a whole century, but losing Norman Lear, even at 101 years old, feels unfair. His bravery, integrity, and unmatched moral compass were equaled by his kindness, empathy, and wit." Even at 101, Norman cared as much about the future, our children, and planet as much as anyone I've ever known. He was a great American, a hero in every way, and so funny, smart, and a lovely man, you almost couldn't believe it. The privilege of working alongside Norman and the opportunity he gave me and my wife to get to know him and his beautiful family has been among the great honors and pleasures of my life. We're all very lucky to have him. George Clooney, in a statement, said, "It's hard to reconcile that 101 years old, Norman Lear's gone too soon. The entire world of reason just lost its greatest advocate, and our family lost a dear friend. A giant walked in his shoes." Tyler Perry reflected on his experience meeting Norman Lear and said, "Just before I left, I asked, at 100 years old, what are you looking forward to?" Without any hesitation, he said, "Tomorrow." It was such a simple but powerful lesson to live your life fully one day at a time. Tyler set that up nice there because one of the shows Norman Lear developed was One Day at a Time. Norman Lear, 101 years old. That's your comedy news for today.